Hey everyone, today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite third-party books, Rise of the Drow by AAW Games. So let's get into it. Hello everybody and welcome to the DM Toolbox. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel to get notified of more great content. One other thing I want to mention is that I did get a new Twitter handle started for this channel. See below in the description for that information. It's at toolbox_DM. One other thing to mention before we get started, I have not been paid to do this review. This is just my opinion on this product. It happens to be a product I like a lot and I wanted to share that with you guys. I first heard about Rise of the Drow a few years ago when I was DMing my very first 5th edition D&D game. One of my players was obsessed with Drow and she was playing one. I wanted to get some good Drow content for the game. So I reached out to a few friends of mine and one of them had suggested Rise of the Drow. Now at the time it was only available on Pathfinder, but that didn't stop me. I got the PDF, dug into it, and it was pretty awesome. I got some good content out of it, but I couldn't help but think how much fun it would be to convert this to 5th edition and play it. Well, fast forward a couple of years and AAW Games did a Kickstarter to completely revamp Rise of the Drow for 5th edition. Now, I didn't back the Kickstarter at the time, but when it was released a few months later, I purchased it just because it looked so cool. When I got in the mail, I was blown away. Let's take a look. Now, this book is massive. Look at this thing. It's at least a couple inches thick. Now, the first thing I want to show you is the cover. It's got that nice soft touch cover, high quality art. It's got the foil writing right on the cover and on the spine that gives it a nice little bit of shine. You can also see on the spine it has this nice purple sewn in head and tail bands on both sides, and that is pretty cool. It gives it a nice professional look and also helps strengthen the binding. Really good touch there. The other thing I really love in this book is that they gave you not one but 2 bookmark ribbons. You have the silver one here and also a purple one. Now, I love a book ribbon in a book, but 2 of them is just a bonus. I can mark a spot in my adventure and a spot in one of the appendices in the back. Awesome, awesome thing to have. Now, opening the book, first thing you can see here, they have this purple metallic kind of paper that helps protect the inside of the book. They have it both in the front and the back. And it's just another one of those nice touches that you don't see in most books. But a nice collector's edition volume like this, that's something they put in. Now, opening to the inside of the book, first thing you're going to notice is the quality of the paper and the print and the ink, the layout. It's all there and it looks amazing. Another thing I love about this book is that AAW Games spared no expense when it came to the art. The artwork in this book is amazing. Everything from cities to people to monsters. They just did a fantastic job on this. Take a look. The book itself is broken into 4 sub-books. The first one is kind of the introduction to the adventure and the hook. Why the players are going to the underworld in the first place, what they're doing there, and all of that. They do a really good job with that, and there's even some cool adventures that AAW sells to even lead more into that. So you have options when it comes to your hook, whether you want to use the one from the book, if you want to use one from one of their other adventures or make up your own, you can totally do that. But the one in the book is fantastic. Now, another cool thing they do in book 1 is that you're kind of go on this chase, and depending on the choices and the way players play this, you can have a different adventure every time you play it. You'll go through a forest and there's multiple encounters you can have there, and there's different paths they can take, different encounters they might have. So it's a nice little touch there that the player's choices will affect the game, and it gives it some replayability. So if you play this game again, you have a totally different adventure. Book 2 is where the real meat of the adventure takes place. This is where the players begin their dark descent into the underworld. They'll face monsters, traverse caves and tunnels, and they'll visit some really cool locations like the dwarven cities of Embla and Stoneholm, the fungi forest, and eventually the Drow city of Holland. The story itself is really well written, and the AAW Games does a great job of leaving room for DMs to take creative liberties wherever they want. Rise of the Drow is more than just an adventure. It's a campaign setting, and books 3 and 4 is what makes that happen. Book 3 is a deep delve into the civilized locations within the underworld, detailed maps of the cities like Stoneholm and Embla and Holland. This includes locations within the cities, guilds, people, all sorts of stuff to really let the DMs flesh out this world and make it come alive for their players. Not only that, but you can use it for your own campaigns as well. You can come up with your own adventures and have it set within these locations in the underworld. You can take these cities, bring them into your own games if you wanted to. Really, really cool stuff in this book. Book 4 does something very similar, except with the uncivilized locations within the underworld, the dark passages, the smaller settlements, locations like the fungi forest, where there's a purple worm nursery. The last part of this book is probably my favorite part. So anybody who knows me knows that I love monsters. I love monster books and I have no shortage of them. And Rise of the Drow is no exception. There is a bestiary of over 200 monsters in the back of this book. Some are just kind of spin-off takes on monsters from the SRD or the Monster Manual, some stuff changed about them, and others are brand new unique monsters created by AAW. They even did borrow a few from Kobold Press. And if you don't know who Kobold Press is, you should, because they make some fantastic books as well. That's for another video. A couple of examples of some of the monsters in this book are the Siege Slug, a massive slug with a siege tower on its back used for attacking cities. There's also the Dwarven Skill Patter, a massive turtle-like monster that can eat through rock and carry heavy loads. The dwarves use these to get around the Underdark and bring their ore, supplies, and can even live on these things. It's really, really cool stuff in here. Besides monsters, this part of the book also has some new magic items unique to the story, as well as a few new spells. Who doesn't love new spells? Overall, this is one of my favorite books that I own. I haven't had a chance to play at the table yet, but I intend to. In fact, I plan on running it online in Foundry VTT in the near future on Twitch, so stay tuned for that. Currently, it's also available in PDF format and Fantasy Grounds, and like I said, coming soon to Foundry VTT, thanks to yours truly. I happen to be doing the digital conversion of Rise of the Drow into Foundry VTT for AAW Games. If you want to see my progress on that, check out my other videos on my channel. I did 2 preview videos of that so far, and I'm working hard to get it done as soon as possible. Aside from that, AAW has some great accessories to help you improve this game, including a campaign primer, pawns, they even have a little encounter deck, and a soundtrack, which you're hearing right now in the background of my video. Oh yeah, and just for fun, they even have a little Drow plushie. Accessory worth mentioning is AAW Games earlier this year had a Kickstarter for a new book called The Survivalist Guide to Spelunking. This is in essence a sequel to the AD&D first edition book, The Dungeoneer's Survival Guide by Douglas Niles. They even got Douglas Niles to work on this book with them. It should be really cool and have a lot of neat stuff in it to help make your underworld adventures more alive. Things like surviving, momentum, lots of roll tables. Everybody loves a good roll table. They have tons of them in this book. This book will be coming out to backers later this month, but check out on their website for pre-order or ordering of this book, as I highly suggest it. It really should help your underworld adventures come to life. I also plan to do a full review on that book once I get it in my hand, which I am anxiously awaiting. I'll post the link down below in the description to where you can get all this stuff from AAW Games. That wraps it up for a review of Rise of the Drow. What do you think of this book? Do you have it? Do you want to play it? What do you think of the Drow? Do you love them? Do you hate them? Leave a comment below and let me know.